Record on this computer. Okay. All right, so we're studying Perashat Shelah Lekha, and in the Perashat, just to give you background, there's going to be a desire on the part of the nation to plan for the entry into Eretz Yisrael by first sending spies into Israel, right? So they're about to enter Eretz Yisrael. They've traveled through the desert. They're at the entrance to Eretz Yisrael. And basically, before entering, they say, let's send spies, right? So the spies will gather information. They will gather information about what the country is like, and so on. So here's the Pesukim that we're going to be studying. We're going to be studying the Pesukim where Moshe Rabbeinu sends the spies. Moshe Rabbeinu and the Jewish people are still in the desert, but they send the spies into Israel. And these are the instructions that Moshe Rabbeinu gives the spies. We're going to see what the instructions are, okay? So we're going to start at Pasuk Yod Zayin. I'm going to read it, as I always do, and I'm going to see what pearls of wisdom we can find in the different mefarshim. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, please.
Сейчас самый главный ингредиент.
Okay, so thank you, Solomon. Thank you very much. Good job. Okay, so I'm going to read the pasuk. וישלח אותם משה לתור את ארץ כנען ויאמר עליהם עלו זה בנגב ועליתם את ההר. I'm now reading Ankelos, and you have Ankelos here. You see this?
Rabbi.
Yes.
Someone's not muted, and there's a lot of background noise.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let me fix that. Thank you for telling me. I didn't realize because I myself had my volume on a low thing. So now I'm going to make sure. Thank you for telling me, Elliot. Okay. You have permission, Elliot. You have permission to call me also on my phone if I'm not answering your messages. Okay. Is that better? I think that's better. Yes? Okay, good. So I'm going to read now Ankelos, and Ankelos is here. You see it? It's on the left side of the page. Okay. Mushlach yatehon Moshe le'alla la yat'ar'a dichna'an va'ama lehon sakuda bedaroma v'tisekun letura. All right, let's just explain the pasuk. Moshe Rabbeinu, he sends them. He sends the spies, the aforementioned spies. There was a list of spies. And he sends them for the purpose of touring the land of Canaan. And he tells them the following. He says, I want you to go up to the Negev. The Negev is in the southern part of Israel, right? And then I want you to go up the mountain. Let's see what this means. I'm going to look now at Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon. And he says as follows. Alu Tehillah el Hadarom. The word Negev in modern Hebrew, the word Negev means the Negev desert. But here the word Negev also means the south. So he says Alu Zeba Negev means start out in the southern part of Israel, right? It doesn't mean the Negev desert. People say, oh, this is a Negev. No, Negev in Hebrew means south. So start in the southern part of Israel. And why does it say Alu Ze Negev? What does Ze mean? One of the Kiddushim of my father, and he wrote a whole article. Yes, Mikey, you wanted to answer the question?
No, I always thought Ze was something that you point to and you're or when you ever say it's specific and you point towards it or you see it, no?
Yeah, you're right. So why would they say Alu Ze Negev? You're right. What you said is absolutely correct. And my father wrote an article about this, and he used to discuss this whenever we would study Torah. He says the word zeh means to point at something. So why is he using this word? Alu zeh b'negev. Because they were parallel to the southern part of Israel. And he's pointing. He says, Alu zeh. He's pointing. This is where you should enter. Enter Israel from the south. And because they were parallel to the southern part of Israel, they were in Kadesh Barnea. Kadesh Barnea is outside the southern part of Israel. That's why he points. You see the diuk, the beautiful language. Alu zeh b'negev. He says, Alu zeh b'negev. Va'alitem etahar. And then I want you, so let's see what the Perashat Dagon says. Ahar alu el hahar. 1 second. Right. And then after you go to the southern part of Israel, I want you to go towards the mountainous region, because if you enter from the south of Israel and then you go towards the north, eventually you get to the mountains, the Judean hills. You get to the Judean hills, right? And that's obviously that's the mountainous region, all right? So that's the way the plan is. The plan is, first Moshe Rabbeinu tells them what geographical location they should be in. They should start in the south and go towards the north and get to the Judean hills. That's the geography. Let me see if there's anything in Ibn Ezra. Ibn Ezra says, Alu zeh haderech b'negev. And same thing as the previous commentaries, namely that there was a road, there was a southern road, there was a road that went from the south to the north, and he says, take that road. Okay, let's now look at, the next pasuk. וראיתם את הארץ, מה היא, ואת העם היושב עליה, החזק הוא, הרפה, המעט הוא, אמרר. You get yourself a book also, okay? So you're sitting, you have the Chumash, open the Perashat. ותחזון יתרעה, מה היא, ויתעמה, דייתב עלה, התקיף הוא עם חלש, הזעיר עם סגי. Now Moshe Rabbeinu gives them specific instructions. What are the objectives? What are the objectives that the spies have to achieve? So the first objective is, Item et haaretz mahi. I want you to see visually see the land. What is the nature of this land? Mahi. Let me look at the Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon. He doesn't say mahi. I want to see what the word mahi means. Item et haaretz mahi. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he means. I want you to see the nature of the land.
If it's hilly or not, maybe a lot of hills, mountains, places that people can hide behind it we can't see for the attack.
Interesting. First of all, that's nice. That's nice. Let me read to you Rashi. Rashi brings the Midrash Rabbah. And this is what he brings. Let me read to you what Rashi says. He says, Yesh eres megadelet giborim. There is a type of land that the people on that land are very large. Veyesh eres megadelet halashim. Then there's a land that it produces people who are weak. So sometimes you have people who are weak, okay? Veyesh eres megadelet uchlusin. Sometimes you have a land which has a large population. Veyesh mema'etet uchlusin. And then sometimes you have a land that has a very low population. So when it says ve'et haaretz mahi, when it says I want to see the nature of the land, he meant what type of people does the land produce? For example, you go to America. Americans are very, big and healthy, right? Right? That's not other countries. You see the people, you see the relationship between the land and the people on the land, right? in terms of their physical qualities and physical attributes, right? So he says, I want you to see what type of people live in this country, right? And if you look at Ibn Ezra, when it says, it says, Umaha'am. What is the nations that live there? The ethnic groups that live there. What are they like? So you see, it's very similar to Rashi, right? As a very intelligent perception of the part of Moshe Rabbeinu. We want to know what type of people live there, because once you know what type of people live there, then you can plan and prepare for the war more intelligently. Okay? Let's continue. Now look at the people. When I say I want to see the nature of the people, tell me, are they strong? Or are they weak? Are they? Is it a small amount of people, Imrab, or is it a large amount of people? Just this, of course, is what Rashi brought the Midrash Rabbah, which is the Perashat, right? I'm looking now at Rabbeinu Saadia Gaon.
The strength,
Yeah.
just to add, to strengthen that idea of it not being a topography, but it's going towards the people and what their nature is like. Is where do we get the terminology Am Haaretz? Am Haaretz. In other words, the connection between land and a person and people. So maybe we can see that when we talk about a land is inclusive of the beings that are in them. Maybe.
Yes, correct. And the most important thing is, what is the nature of the population, the populace that resides on that land? Right, correct.
Okay, and it's okay, good. I mean, Ibn Ezra is a Pashtan, so it's right. So I got to think that he's clear. It's pshat, and that's not a stretch at all, as far as going beyond what the intention was in that pasuk.
Right. Now look at the pasuk again, Mikey. Look at the pasuk again. I'm gonna think. So basically, ares mahi. There's an atnach there, right? Right. You see the atnach. Ares mahi. Stop. Now the second part of the pasuk is an explanation of the first part of the pasuk. When I say I want you to see the land, now comes the second part. It's almost like there's a colon, 2 dots. Ve'eta ama yoshev aleha yahazaku harafeh. So you see the second part of the pasuk is the specific details. It's like I say all people must go to the back of the room, and then I say men, woman, children, elderly, young, right? And so the second part of my sentence was an elaboration of what I meant when I say all people.
Good. Is there a vav there? I can't see clearly. Is it ve'etam?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If it was, I would feel a little bit more comfortable. If it said eta'am hayoshev,
I was thinking the same thing.
Right.
Throws me off. I want a different idea now.
Yes, I'll explain, because you're thinking it, and that's a good point, because you're thinking in English syntax.
Okay.
In English, the proper syntax would be colon, and there'll be men, woman, children, as I said, right?
Right.
In Hebrew, the vav actually says connected to the first part of the pasuk. In Hebrew syntax, putting the vav there actually says, and meaning I'm continuing on what I said. I'm now explaining what I said. It's interesting. It's so important when you study the Chumash to remember. We often, I do this all the time. I try to translate into English, and then I sometimes get a little confused, but then I come back to the Hebrew syntax, and it all becomes clear.
Perfect. Good. Thanks.
Yes. Right. So we want to see, is the nation strong or is it weak? Is it me'at, few, or is it great in number? Interesting. So from the perspective of Moshe Rabbeinu or the Jewish people, if it's a strong nation, that's a problem, right? You agree? If it's a weak nation, that's better. But then it says ham'atu. If it's a small population, is that better or worse for us? Imran, or it's a large population, it's many people. Okay, let's just put that thought in the back of your head, and then we're going to continue.
So, Chacham,
yes.
Right now, he's just starting to give them instructions on what to do, correct?
Correct. They are about to go on their mission, and he is giving them their instructions. That is correct. Right. Yes.
Okay.
Uma ha'ares asher hu. Let me mark it for you. I just so you all see it. Okay, there it is. Uma ha'ares asher hu yoshev baha atovahi imra'a uma ha'arim asher hu yoshev bahenna habe machanim im. Okay, and uma ha'ares asher hu yoshev baha. Now that we dealt with the nature of the people, let's deal with the nature of the land, okay? Now that's what we're going to do now. So, let's look at the land. Hatovahi, is it of a good quality? I'll explain that in a moment. Imra'a, is it of a bad quality? Umahi arim, what about the cities? Asheru Yoshev Bahenna, the cities that they reside in. Habe machanim, are they open cities? Im b'mipsarim, or perhaps they are walled cities. Okay, these are the objectives of the mission, very well defined objectives. I'm going to look at Ankelos now, which is on the left side of the screen for you, on the share screen. Uma ara'a dehu yatebaha hatabahi im bisha uma kirvaya dehu yatebehon ha befaschin im bekarchin. Okay. Hatavahi. I'm looking at Ankelos. Ha'im tovahi. Again, is it a fertile? I would say, is the land a fertile land? Okay. Let's look at Benu Sadia Gaon. Asheruch shochen ba ha'im hi tova. Nothing more, nothing added to what we just read. Okay. So you understand the question. And look at the question. Look at the question. Look at the verse again. It says, is the land fertile or is it ra'ah? I would say infertile. Umahi arim. Are the cities, are they b'machanim? Are they open? Or are they b'mifsarim? Are they walled cities? Okay? So again, just look at the order. It says, it starts with tova. Is it good or is it bad? And then it goes to b'machanim. Is machanim bad or good? What do you think? In b'mifsarim. What is a more, let me put it to you this way. If you have a country, what is a more developed, more advanced country? A country that has fertile land or a country that the land is infertile? Well, we say fertile, of course. That means that it's well irrigated. They know agriculture. They know how to plant. It's very rich and abundant. Okay. Then we look at the land again. Let's look at the land. We say the cities. The cities. Are they open cities or are they walled cities? What is a more developed country? A country that everything is open or a country that has walls around it? You understand my question?
Yeah. But you mean more advanced, meaning are they more secure in their safety is one thing. You know, that they feel comfortable. I don't need a wall. We're strong enough here.
Right.
But then again, they could be just, they didn't have enough money and they could have looked, you know, more like regal and what we have walls. And so maybe that's a more developed country, you know, state with a wall in that regard.
Right. So first of all, the way you looked at it is exactly the problem. But it so happens that generally speaking, if you have a walled city that's more meshubach, that's a higher level of shevach. So for example, in Eretz Yisrael, there's 10 levels of kedusha. And one of the levels of kedusha is walled cities. This is in Masechet Alachim. Walled cities have a higher level of kedusha than non-walled cities because it's more advanced, right? Because it's secure, it's strong, it's, you know, it shows a certain culture, it shows a certain security system.
But why the terminology Kiddusha? What's the connection between that and Kiddusha?
Oh, okay. So there's different laws that have to do with walled cities. And there's that when we study Belina, that we study Masechet Alachim, there's 10 levels of Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael, and there's nafkamina le'inyan different halachot. But take it from me that there's a higher level of Kedusha for a walled city than a non-walled city. For example, Shushan Purim, at least if it's walled from the days of Yoshua bin Nun, Shushan Purim is a higher level of Kedusha than the regular Purim, the 15th. is a greater level of Kedusha than the 14th because it's done by the walled cities. But put that on the side for now.
Okay.
It's a good question. It's just there's a lot of different halachot and a lot of different things that go into the 10 levels of Kedusha in Eretz Yisrael. Okay. Those have to do with how you sell property, le'inyan shemitah, and other laws. All right. But let's continue. And you're going to see I'm making a point here. All right? I'm making a point. ומה הארץ השמנה היא אמרזה היש בה העץ עם עין והתחזקתם ולקחתם מפרי הארץ והימים ימי ביקורי ענבים. The last instruction or the last goal. Look at the land. Is it rich or is it skinny? Is it fat or skinny? Does it have trees? Or are there no trees? So wait, hold on. So if here it says, what did it mean when it said, the previous pasuk, pasuk yotet? It said, what was that talking about? So that wasn't talking about fertile, was it? Because fertile is here. So what is this talking about? So what's that talking about? You understand my question?
Topography?
Who said that?
Nathan.
Maybe topography. Let me see.
I actually have to say that because I remember the Chacham often will talk about how diverse the topography of Eretz Yisrael was compared to other parts of the world. So I just came out of my mind.
Right, you're right. I remember that also, I think.
Yes.
To the north and the snow to the sun. You're right.
Let me read to you what Rashi, and I also remember that. Let me read to you what Rashi says. Hatovahi b'ma'yanot. It's filled with wells, with running water, springs of water. Utomot tovim ubrim, and it's filled with underwater reservoirs, right? So, which Israel is filled with, by the way. So hatovahi is not what I said before. Hatovahi imra'ah, it's filled with water. But when it says water, it means water that comes from the ground, right? Spring water and rivers and subterranean water, right? That's the question. That's what we're trying to determine. So hatovahi, I'm going to read the pasuk again. Pasuk yotet. Go backwards to pasuk yotet. Now that we have the correct explanation. I'm trying to teach you methodology. I hope you understand what I'm doing here. Like I'm taking you through the process. I don't want to just say, this is what the pasuk means. I want you to understand how to analyze the text. That's why I'm going through this process with you.
Absolutely.
Because we don't do everything. There's going to be things you're going to be sitting at home with your sons and daughters and wives and reading these things and looking at these things. I want you to learn how to think. Okay, so now we're doing it again.
Wow.
That's water. What makes the land good is that when there's tons of springs and rivers of fresh, good water. Okay? And are the cities open or closed? We're going to deal with that in a moment. Because the order here is wrong. Of course, at the simple Peshat level, mifsarim, it should have said, it should serve first a walled city. I want to go in. I want to have a walled city. It's strong. It's secure. If enemies attack us, we're already protected. And then it should be open cities. Okay, less good. Maybe we'll build a wall ourselves. Okay, I'll explain that soon. Let's go to the next pasuk now. Fertile or infertile? Is it a place where you can have orchards? Or maybe not. Not every land you can have orchards on. And be courageous. Don't be afraid. Bring us some samples of the fruits of the land. Now, the Torah says, "V'hayamim yemei bikurei anavim," and it says, this was the time, this was the season where the grapes are beginning to ripen on the vines. Why does it say that? V'hayamim yemei bikurei anavim. This was the season of the grapes ripening on the vines. Why does the Torah have to tell us that? What do you think?
Great question.
Bikurim, when we had to thank Hashem when we came into Israel, that was the fruits that we had to bring, or the first fruits. Any connection or no?
We came to Yerushalayim from all over Israel. We brought the Bikurim.
Right. So the bikurim, or the word bikurim is the same word, because what do you bring from the bikurim? You bring the first fruits that ripen on the vine, right? Okay. And here it says, "V'hayamim yemei bikurei anavim," and this was the season where the first grapes are ripening on the vines. So it's like the connection is a linguistic connection, right? I'll tell you what I think. This is my own personal insight. I wish my father was around so that I could discuss it with him, but that option will have to wait for a while. But anyway, here's my insight. V'hayamim yemei bikurei anavim. You know what I think? Moshe Rabbeinu knew that this is the season of the ripening of the grapes, and he wanted to see the fruits of Eretz Yisrael. He wanted to see those fruits. He couldn't wait to enter. He just, it's like he's so excited. He wants to see the fruits. Otherwise, why ask him to bring it? What do you have to bring the fruits? I don't know. Like, what do we, this? He wants those fruits. You understand? That's what I think. So now we understand when Moshe Rabbeinu was telling him, bring me some of the fruits. He wants them. He knows that the grapes are now going to be on the thing. Give me some. My kid goes to Israel. Please bring me some of the delicious Israeli chocolate or whatever. You always have these things. He wants those fruits, the fruits of Eretz.
Bring me the gozi. Very good.
Right. There's a story. It was the Askara of Aram Mordechai Eliyahu on Shabbat. And my father was, my father and Aram Mordechai were there was tremendous respect and reverence. And I told her that Aram Mordechai, and I said in my hesped that he considered my father to be the greatest Chacham ever to enter America. He actually told this to a person, a rabbi himself called Alan Uter, and Alan Uter related it to me because he got Semichat Rabbanut from Aram Mordechai Eliyahu, and he related to me that story, that when he told Aram Mordechai that he was studied with my father, he told him, you should know that Chacham Paul was the greatest Chacham ever to enter America. That's what he said about my father. Anyway, this week was his Azkara. I don't think it was a coincidence, by the way. There was too many weird coincidences. I didn't share the coincidences with you, but the crazy coincidences with my father's date and all that. But that's...
Whose Azkara was it? Rabbi Yuder?
No, Aram Mordechai Eliyahu. Rabbi Yuder is the one who related the story that he went to Aram Mordechai to get tested for a semicha. Aram Mordechai Eliyahu told him that. But it was Azkara of Aram Mordechai Eliyahu, and I don't think it was a coincidence. There are too many things, unusual things happening. But
is Rabbi Yudah still alive, right?
Yes, he's alive. He's alive.
Well, we did a lot of classes with him.
Yes. A lot of classes with him. A lot, correct.
Yes.
Amen.
The tapes that we have, they're all gone.
We're working on retrieving them, Elliot.
No, I have the tapes probably, but they're so thinned out.
I know
that it's very, very, very difficult to rehash those.
Okay, so we'll talk about that afterwards. Elliot Cohen says he has somebody who's very, very professional who can help us, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, all right, let's continue. Aram Mordechai Eliyahu, he relates a story that he was once invited to this. There was some farach somewhere, and some rich man on some island, and he was brought into the island with a helicopter, and there was this giant mansion. And anyway, he's brought into the mansion. They have a special seudah in honor of the Chacham of Aram Mordechai. And Aram Mordechai was a great, great Zionist. He loved Israel beyond belief. I mean, he was like, for him, Eretz Yisrael, and also his son after him. Eretz Yisrael was like Yemot HaMashiach, you know? So he loved Eretz Yisrael so much. And he relates that he comes to the Seudah, and they had a big seudah in his honor and all these special fruits and this and that. And the Baal Habayit comes out of the Chanan and says, these are amazing olives. He never tasted olives like this. He says, where are they from? He says, he says, no, that's not true. The best olives in the world are the olives of Eretz Yisrael. So he tells them, no, you're wrong. I want you to try these olives. These olives are the best. They're better. So Aram Dechalia was like a little upset. He was very, they loved Eretz Yisrael. My father was like that also, by the way. Sometimes I used to complain about Israel because, whatever. Sometimes you go through the mill. No complaint. Not allowed to complain about Israel. Okay. So Aram Dechalia was like, so you didn't want to have the olives. He was getting annoyed. And everybody's having the olives. Rabbi, you have to try these olives. They're the best olives. You don't understand. You don't know what you're missing. And he's not having the olives. And they said, no, Rabbi, you have to have them. He says, you know what? Give me the can. I want to see where these olives come from. So they bring the can. It says, Kfutzat Yavne and Kibbutz Yavne and Eretz Yisrael. They were Israeli olives. He said, give me the olives. I told you, they're the best olives in the world are from Eretz Yisrael. So that's a story. So Moshe Rabbeinu, he sees in Ruach HaKodesh, he sees that the grapes are on the tree. He wants those grapes. He wants them. Bring them. He wants to see them. Okay. Yeah. So that's what's happening here. That's the Perashat Le'ani Yudati. Okay. Let me explain to you. This is a great chidush I'm about to tell you. I want to get back to that question I asked earlier. And the question is, what is better? We would have thought that Mifsadim is better. Of course, Mifsadim is better. If you're coming to a city and it has a wall, you're coming to a house, it has a great security system, alarm, cameras all over the place. You have the exact same house, no cameras, no security system, no nothing. Which is better? Of course, a house with a security system, right? You want it to be protected. Nobody's going to tell you, no, I want the house without the security system. Okay. But here it switches the order. It brings first Mahanim and then Mifsadim. The first book my father wrote was the book on the Beis and Moshe Hazan. Do I have it here? Give me a moment. I'm not sure if I have it here in my office in the synagogue. Just give me one moment. Mechila, that I'm interrupting in the middle. Let me just take a quick look. Hold on. I don't remember if I have it here. I think you want to tell me to look. Give me a second.
Nathan.
Hey.
Okay. So I have the book.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now, let me see in this book. There's a paragraph where he explains this. Give me a couple of minutes. Hopefully not minutes. I don't know if I'll be able to find it. And if I can't find it, I'll say it. I know what he says. I mean, I remember the Alpeh, but I wouldn't mind reading the actual Lashon. Okay, it was later on. It was later on in the book. Yeah. All right. Yeah. This was from. I'm trying to remember if this was Rabbi Yisrael Moshe Hazan who himself said it. Yes. Wow. Okay. Here it is. Yeah. Yes. All right.
Where was he from again?
Rabbi Yisrael Moshe Hazan was originally from Yerushalayim. He was from a great family of Chachamim, generation after generation after generation. The story, the poem we read on Rosh Hashanah. Achot ketana tefiloteha. That one was written by, I think it was Rabbi Abraham Hazan in Spain I don't know, probably 10 generations before the Bisa Moshe Chazan. Meaning it was just one generation after another, after another, after another. Just one Chacham after another, after another, after another. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They used to have chains of Chachamim that just families. Every generation was another generation of great Chachamim. Anyway, so yeah, he has a whole section here where he explains this, but it might be a little long. So I'm not gonna go into it now because this would require a whole class. But I want to tell you in summary fashion what it is. Okay, I'm going to give you in summary fashion, and it is as follows. Right, it has to do with how you view the world. So we have a Judaism. We have our own ways. We have our own culture. We have our own values, and around us are foreign values, right? Around us is a foreign culture, and this foreign culture is a threat to Judaism, right? This foreign culture is a threat to Judaism because it's conflicting, right? So if you have a child raised in a Jewish house, he's exposed to the Jewish values, but then eventually he goes out into the street, and then he's exposed to the non-Jewish values. So how do you deal with that? And it's an interesting thing. I'm just going to read to you that one paragraph in my father's book on Abisa Moshe Chazan, and it's as follows. So give me a moment. Hazal hikiru yafe et shete shetot halechima upirshu mitoch ze et hamachloket ben Moshe vehameraglim. Okay, the Chachamim, they understood that there was two ways to fight a war. There are two ways to fight a war. One way to fight a war is the way Goliath fought the war against David. How did Goliath fight the war against David? Complete defensive position where he's totally covered in armor. You can't penetrate the armor. Everything is covered. How can David possibly defeat Goliath? On the other hand, David's strategy to fight the war was he was completely open. He had nothing covering him. When Shaul tells David, let me give you my armor. Let me give you my uniform. He doesn't want it. David doesn't want it. He goes to fight Goliath without any armor. Okay. And finally, so those are two ways to fight a war. Now, what does David do? David, he finds a weak position in the enemy. There was a place where the armor wasn't, because of course the person needs to move, right? So there's always going to be a slight, nook and cranny, and he uses that nook and cranny, and he throws the stone, and it penetrates directly into the forehead of Goliath. That's what David does. So there's two ways to fight a war. And these two ways to fight the war, they're reflected in what we just read. And now I'm going to read it. When Moshe Rabbeinu sent the spies into Israel, in our Perashat, he says, tell me, I want you to find out. One of the objectives is, we read the pasuk, I want to know, are the people powerful or are they weak? That's one of the goals. If they sit in open cities, or are they sitting in walled cities? Chazal pirshu, menayin atem yodim kocham. So Chachamim ask the following question in Midrash Tanchuma. The Chachamim ask, okay, how are you supposed to know if the guys are strong? What are you going to do? You're going to take them to a weightlifting competition and tell them to lift weights? How can the Meraglim determine if the people are strong? And the answer is as follows. Im b'mahanim hem sheruyim. If they live in open cities, hem giborim enotim alechem. These people are powerful people. They're not afraid of anyone. They're like the people in what is it, Polk County, Texas, where the sheriff gets up and says, We all have guns. You want to enter and ride in our town? We'll be waiting, right? I don't know if you saw that. So that's these people. That's his people. The imbe mipsarim, but if they're living,
I saw that and I loved it.
right? Imbe mipsarim, but if they're in walled cities, halashim hem. That means if they're in walled cities, that means that they're weak. Velibam rach, they have a certain fear in their heart, right? And the mistake of the Meraglim was that it happened to have been that the cities in Israel were actually walled cities. Crazy number of walled cities. Now, when they saw the walled cities, they said, oh, they're powerful. But that's not what Moshe Rabbeinu meant. Moshe Rabbeinu said, if it's a walled city, it means they're weak. If it's an open city, it means they're powerful. So what does it have to do with anything? So we have among some of the Jewish communities, the idea was the only way to protect our children from assimilation is to live in sort of a very enclosed ghetto and to make sure that our children are never exposed to the outside world. Because if they're exposed to the outside world, they would automatically lose the war. Now, so you do that. You keep the child enclosed in the ghetto for as long as you can. The ghetto can be Mea She'alim, can be Bnei Brak, but here's the problem. When you do that, you're sending your child a message, we're weak. We don't want you to come into contact with the enemy, because if you come into contact with the enemy, you'll lose. And that's what happens. Many times it happens that people leave the city, they come into contact with the secular society, for example, in Israel, and they totally get decimated. They get wiped out. Yes, it's true. They lose the war, they give up the Torah and Mitzvot, and they join the other side. That's a strategy. That's a strategy. But it's a strategy that has an internal flaw. The internal flaw is you are automatically admitting that the enemy is greater than you. Because if you felt that you were greater than the enemy, let my children see the enemy. What do I care? I know that what I have to offer my children is far greater than what the enemy has to offer my children. And that brings us to the humanistic tradition. My father wrote many, many articles, and much of the book of Rabbi Yisrael Moshe Hazan is based on the humanistic tradition of Judaism, which is an open approach and says, we're not afraid of the Goyim. And not only are we not afraid of the Goyim, if the Goy has something beautiful, I'll give you an example. We live in Halab. And in Halab, they have beautiful Arabic music. They have the oud, and they have singers like Kalthum, and they have singers like, because I know they weren't around then, but singers like Abdul Wahab and Farid al-Atrash. I'm not afraid of that. You know what? That music really is beautiful. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take the music of the enemy and I will incorporate it into my arsenal. I will take that music and make beautiful pizmonim. I will take that music and use it in the hazanut. So, and then when my kids hear the music, they're like, it doesn't affect, yeah, we have it in the synagogue. We're nothing, you're not superior to us, right? There's beautiful philosophical ideas, Aristotle, Plato. You know what? Let's study that. Let's incorporate it and see what Aristotle, how does it measure up to the Chokhmah, the Chachamim, and if he has something nice to say, we'll give him credit. We'll give him credit. There's many times when we see that Aristotle is beneath, of course, not surprisingly, beneath the Chachamim, but we're not afraid. We're like the Geborim that live in the open city. And when our children live in the open city and that they see our courage, they don't get affected by the enemy because they know that we're greater than the enemy. They know that we're stronger. They know that our brand of life is such a better brand of life. They see it in our attitude towards the enemy. The fact that we're not afraid of approaching the enemy is exactly the point. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu, that was the message that he was trying to give the Meraglim, but they inverted the message. They inverted it. They thought that the walled city was a sign of strength when it was really a sign of weakness. Okay? So That's just a little taste of Rabbi Israel Moshe Chazan, the book. Right? All right.
Very good. Meaning that's what they said when they came back. They said the exact opposite.
It was Arim Gevohot, Delatayim Ubriach. You see in this Perashat Devarim, all Shishim Eir, Kol Hevel Argov, all the walled cities was about like going up to the sky. And Moshe Rabbeinu was like, well, yeah, that's great. These people are a bunch of cowards. They're a bunch of cowards. We just have to figure out how to get into the city. Isn't that what happened with David HaMelech? David HaMelech, he comes to Yerushalayim. It was the Yevusi was in Yerushalayim. They're like, they have this strong wall around Jerusalem. Nobody knows how to enter Jerusalem. Nobody knows. They were so confident. They were so confident because of the wall that they put blind people and limp people at the walls to kind of like mock the Jews. To, you know, we have a wall. We have a wall. But David HaMelech figured out how to enter the city. Apparently, there's a great YouTube video that they found in archaeology. It looks like they entered the city from the water system. There was water flowing out of the city, plumbing, and water flowing into the city, a river, underground water, and they entered the tunnel where the water was flowing, and they came into the city, and that was it. End of the war. Halas. They're behind the wall. They must be very weak, right? And they were. They were very weak. Fantastic, no?
Yep.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue. All right. So I'm doing now Pasul Kaf Aleph. 1 second.
So the mission was to I'm just trying to think if it's a mission to figure out, in other words, strategy so that you know, or is it also not a need, but a confirmation that it's Zavat Cholad Udvash, in other words, to show the people. It has like a dual, purpose possibly, not just because if it was just strictly army, and it would be nothing to do with bring back food or you make kurim. It would have everything to do with what's the best way to get in, because in Somchin Alanes we have to do what we have to do as far as trying to get in there to win the war and beat them. But it also had a tinge of like, don't we know that it's a beautiful? We know already. If God said it's the beautiful land, we're not second guessing it. So is it a beautiful land? Is it good land? It's definitely going to be good probably for us. Or even if it wasn't, well, this is the land that God promised for us to go into. So let's not second guess it maybe. And I'm just trying to think out of the box.
I think it's a very good question. The question you're asking is, if Hashem said that it's Erez Zavat Halav Udvash,
right,
why are they sending people to find out if it's Erez Zavat Halav Udvash? Hashem said it's Erez Zavat Halav. He said it's a rich land, it's a fertile land. So why are they doing that? Why are they sending the people there?
Right.
Okay, a couple of possibilities. I don't know. I'm just thinking with you.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, well, yeah, he did. At this point in time, did he already say it's Erez Zavat Halav Udvash? Yes, I think in the book of Shemot. Yes.
Prior to
Yes, in the book of Shemot, it's referred to as Erez Zavat Halav Udvash.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we need to do this? Why do we need to do this? I have to think about it. It's
okay.
an interesting question.
Fine.
Very interesting question. Okay, let me think about it. I'm going to sleep on it. If I get an answer, I will let you know.
Fine. Thanks.
But the other parts,
yeah, those all
appear to be more military in nature. Yes. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let us continue. So we are now in Perek Kaf Bet. All right. ויעלו בנגב ויבוא עד חברון ושם אחימן ששי ותלמי ילידי הענק וחברון 7 שנים נבנתה לפני צוען מצרים. Okay, so they went up from the south of Israel. They went towards the north, towards the mountainous region of the Judean hills, and they get to the city of Hebron, which the city of Hebron is at an altitude similar to this altitude of Jerusalem and even a little higher than Jerusalem. In the city of Hebron, there was a person, there were people, 3 people, they were called, one was called Ahiman, the other was called Sheshai, and the third was called Talmai. These people were the descendants of the giant, Yelideh Ha'anak. We'll see a little more about that in the Perush. So obviously the people were very large, that we can say. Remember the first question that Moshe Rabbeinu said, what is the nature of the people? Ha'ama Yoshev Aleha? Well, these are very big people, right? The Hebron, the city of Hebron was built 7 years before the city of Soan, which is an Egyptian city. Okay, why do we need to know that? Why is that important? All right, let's look now at Ankelos. Musliku bedaroma ba'ata al Hebron betaman achiman shesha betalmai bene kibara ve'Hebron sheva shenin it beniat kodam tanes de Misraim. Interesting, tanes de Misraim. Tanes is on. Okay. Let's look at Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon. They went up from the south of Israel. Uba'u leHebron, and they reached Hebron. And in Hebron there was Bene HaGiborim. They were the sons of the powerful ones. Anak bemuvan Giborim. You notice how Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon interprets Anak. We interpret it as giant. He interprets it as physically powerful, right? Now, if you look at Ankelos, I just want to show you this word. I'm going to show it to you now. Also, Ankelos, you see the words Bene Gibara. He doesn't interpret it as Anak meaning giant, but Anak meaning powerful. Gibara meaning Gebura, powerful. You see? Yes?
Yeah, okay. Clear.
Yes. Okay. And then continuing in Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon. Shehaita Gevoha Kevima Lemoshav Melachim. What does that mean? 1 second. I'm reading it again, reading Se'adia Gaon again. Hebron is 7 years older than Soan. Venikret Soan, Rabbeinu, okay, Birat Misraim. Shaita Geboha, I need to get my magnifying glasses or reading glasses. Shaita Geboha, Kevima Lemoshav Melachim.
That's Se'adia Gaon?
Yeah, he said, yes, Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon seems to say that Soan was a very high place, and it was a place where the kings used to reside. Give me a moment. I'm going to look at Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon on Perek Kaf Aleph, Pasuk Kaf Zayin, because apparently there he emphasizes this further. So let me just look at that Pasuk. Perek Kaf Aleph, Pasuk Kaf Zayin is in Perashat Hukat. And then it says, in Perashat Hukat, there's a pasuk that says, Al ken yomeru ha-moshelim bo'u heshbon tibane v'tikonen ir Sichon. The rulers, they used to go and say, let us go to the city of Heshbon and let us rebuild the city of Sichon. Let's see what we have here in, 1 second. 1 second. No, nothing. Oh, wait, where was it? Kaf Aleph, Kaf Zayin. Kaf Zayin. Okay, I don't know what was meant by this Rabbeinu Se'adia Gaon. What does he mean that it was a place, a high place for the Melachim? Eneni Yodea. I don't know. A high place for the Melachim. Okay? I will speculate. The truth is, Hebron is a high place, right? As I said, it's altitude-wise, it's higher than Misraim. It's higher than Yerushalayim. I'm sorry. It's higher than you. I mean, Hebron is one of the highest places in the Judean hills. And perhaps what he meant by that is that the kings, the political leaders, would live there because it was a high place. It was a secure place. And because it was a secure place, the king always wants to live in a place that you can secure, right? Because otherwise the king will be subject to attacks by other armies. I think that's what it means. So Hebron was a high place, and because it was a high place, that's where the Gibborim went, and that was the kings that ruled and dominated the other people in the region. That's what I understand to be the meaning of Se'adia Gaon. All right?
Good.
All
Is
right.
there, I'm curious, is there a, like on a Parashan, a super commentary on him that would flesh something like that out?
We have here what the great work of Rabbi Tifchi, Harav Tifchi. I'm using his work, Derech HaKadmonim, and even with Derech HaKadmonim, right, I'm not fully understanding.
Well, he translates Rabbi Sadia Gaon?
Yes. He
Okay.
explains Rabbeinu Sadia Gaon.
Or he explains it?
Yes, exactly. Okay. All right, let's continue.
Good.
Okay, let me read you what Rashi says also, which is based on the Gemara in Masechet Sotah, about the Hebron being 7 years older than Misraim. Efshar shebana Ham et Hebron lifna'an beno hakatan. So the Gemara in Masechet Sotah, and Rashi brings it, that Ham, the son of Noah, when he left the Teva, he got to Hebron. And it's possible that Ham built the city of Hebron for his son, Canaan. Canaan was the youngest son of Ham. Kodem sheivne et So'an lemisraim beno hagadol. Now I understand it. Because Ham had several sons. Ham, the son of Noah, had several sons. The youngest son was Canaan. The older son was So'an. And what this pasuk is saying is that Ham built the city of Hebron, apparently, for his youngest son, before he built the city of So'an, which is in Egypt, for his oldest son, right? Misraim, and I misspoke before. I said So'an was the son. I misspoke. Misraim was the son of Ham, and he built the city of So'an for his son Misraim, okay? Ela she'ayta mebuna bechol tuv על אחד משבעה וסוען, ובא להודיעך שבחה של ארץ ישראל. And it is telling us that as great as the city of So'an was in Egypt, which is considered a very fertile city, the city of Hebron was considered even more fertile than the city of So'an in Egypt, because Egypt was extremely fertile because of the Nile. The Nile Delta made it was the most fertile place on the planet, and Hebron was even more fertile than that. Okay, I see that it's 9:45, and it's always a pleasure to teach all of you Perashat HaShavua. I really enjoy it.
Thank you, Rabbi Chazak Baruch.
And what we just said should be le'ilun nishmat morenu v'rabbeinu ve'ater roshenu Rabbi Yosef ben Ora ani kapalat mishkavo ruach Adonai תניחנו בגן עדן ובכל בני ישראל השוכבים עמו בכלל הרחמים הסליחות וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן.
תנוחמו מן השמיים, חם אברהם.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you, Rabbi. We'll say Shema now. I'm assuming it's the time.
Everybody say Shema. Good idea. Netilat Yadayim and Kiryat Shema. Perfect.
Wow.
All the best. Netilat Yadayim, yeah. Before you say Kiryat Shema, since this is Kiryat Shema de Oraita, because if you said it earlier before Sunset, it was not Kiryat Shema de Oraita. So now because you're doing Kiryat Shema de Oraita, you have to do Netilat Yadayim with Beracha. With Beracha, Netilat Yadayim with Beracha, and then say Kiryat Shema. Belina, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm logging on, I'm doing Netilat Yadayim, and then Kiryat Shema.
Wow.
Mikey. All right. All the best.
Thank you, Nathan. See you, Isaac. See everybody.